What's good, YouTube? STORMYBMAN, and I am back with a pre-fight video. Before we get started, I'd like to say shout out to the LDBC, the Lions Den boxing community, new media, and liberated perspective, a third eye view of the world. For more content such as this, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. On December 7th, in Saudi Arabia, we're going to see a rematch titled Clash at the Dunes, Ruiz Joshua 2. Anthony Joshua, who is the former unified champion, lost his titles to Andy Ruiz Jr. in a thrilling match that was held at Madison Square Garden in June 2019, this year. Joshua, who had entered the fight as the unified champion holding the titles of WBA, IBF, WBO, and the IBO. These titles were on the line when he faced Andy Ruiz at Madison Square Garden. Ruiz was not the original opponent who went into the fight, but it was supposed to be Jarrell Big Baby Miller, who ended up popping dirty for PEDs as the fight was drawing close. So the Joshua camp scrambled to find a replacement because he did want to go through with his debut, and they selected Andy Ruiz Jr. Now Andy, who had come into the match as a fighter who was not really an easy pick, with the record of 32-1, his single loss had come in a majority decision loss to Joseph Parker in 2016. But in his fights leading up to the Joshua bout, he had defeated Devin Vargas, Kevin Johnson, and Alexander Dmitrenko. And in the fight against Dmitrenko, Andy showed that he was very astute at fighting fighters with size and weight. This was something that Joshua's people seemed to overlook going into the fight. Joshua, who is 6'6", with an 82-inch reach, 30 years old, thought that, and his personnel, his camp, they thought that because Ruiz was 6'2" with a 74-inch reach and not necessarily the most astonishing physical specimen, they thought that he would be a lightweight opponent, easy pickings for their debut in America. The debut should have been against our champion, the WBC heavyweight champion of the world, Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder. But seeing that they were looking for something easier, they just found themselves going after smaller opposition and misread this thing totally. In a match that saw both fighters going back and forth, Ruiz was downed early in the match, and as he got up from being dropped, moments later he found himself dropping Joshua. Joshua actually went down 4 times in this fight after that first time. There were rumors about him having trouble in sparring camps possibly suffering a concussion. All of that is water under the bridge at this time because they did go on with the fight. If Joshua had some serious complications, the fight should not have taken place. But because he was in the ring on fight night, we have to take it that he was ready to go. Ruiz in his bout with Parker, that being a majority decision, that seemed to be one of those fights where Parker was given the favorable decision over him. But I'm going to tell you right now, ladies and gentlemen, Andy Ruiz Jr. can fight. The man throws combinations. He has decent power. He even has good stamina. Though his body shape may indicate otherwise, it's just deceptive because he's a fighter with heart. He's a fighter with skill and ability, and he has good technique. He knows how to cut the ring off. He's definitely a fighter that will pursue his opponent, and he's game. The one thing that people can do is look at him and say, wow, the guy, his physical shape is not what they would like to desire. But I'll tell you something. In the sport of boxing, fighters like Andy Ruiz Jr. have been around throughout history. And if you sleep on them, they will definitely make you pay. This is seemingly what happened to Joshua when he met him. So, let's look at what's forthcoming in the rematch, the Clash in the Dunes. Why is this fight taking place in Saudi Arabia is really a good question to ask. And Anthony Joshua seems to be training at his best for the rematch. But a leopard cannot change his spots. Joshua is a stiff boxer, puncher who is plodding. He's not very light on his feet. He does have fast hands, but he's not a single punch knockout fighter. He's very strong, but we don't know if that strength is on the inside. He seemed to cave in against Andy Ruiz, and when a fighter like Ruiz smells blood in the water, he's just like a shark. Joshua will have to be a better fighter this time around. He can't fight on the inside, so he's going to have to look to keep Andy on the outside. At the end of his jab, he's going to have to throw punches and combinations, use that uppercut that he has, which appears to be his best punch, actually. He's going to have to tie Andy up on the inside, push him off. He's going to have to get a little physical with Andy. And it's going to be dangerous because Joshua now is going to be a little gun shy, I believe, due to this man laying hands on him the way he did in their first fight. The one thing he can hope for is to tire Andy out, and just overall outbox him. Because Joshua is a former Olympian and gold medalist, he should be able to use boxing skill in this. But I don't think it's going to be about his boxing skill. I think it's going to be about what's inside. And Andy has already dented that metal when it comes to what Joshua has to offer. He's going to have to prove his naysayers wrong. Anthony Joshua will have to do this. He's going to have to reach back. Remember the guy who fought Vladimir Klitschko, Dillian White, and Alexander Povetkin. And he's going to have to use that to rely upon. He can't revisit that fight with Ruiz. He's going to have to totally block that out of his mind, or he will find himself in the same results as before. Will he be able to do that? Will some type of confidence going in be able to be manifested? We'll have to wait and see. But one thing is for certain, Andy Ruiz is the type of fighter you can underestimate. You can underestimate his personality. You can underestimate his physical appearance. But one thing that can't be mistaken is he's gonna fight. And if he doesn't, we know why they put the fight over there in Saudi. Maybe someone will talk to him. Maybe someone will convince him. But we hope that he'll put it on the line just like he did the first go around and give a quality effort. Sometimes new champions rest on their laurels. They find things have been settled in their lives, they've come into some cash, and they find that they're content now. Will Andy Ruiz be a victim of that, a la the original Buster Douglas? It remains to be seen. But on December 7th, these two fighters are going to clash again in Saudi Arabia, and they're going to answer all of these questions for you. What do you think? I think it's worth I think it's worth a look to see these fighters and what they have to offer. It is the heavyweight division, and anything can happen with the big boys. Boxing is truly the theater of the unexpected, and I expect to have more for you as we lead up to fight week. This is STORMYBMAN. This is all I have for you at this time. Please leave comments. Let me know what you think is going to happen in this fight, what you would like to see happen in this fight, and discuss. That's it for now. Until the next time we speak, peace.